video. It's not rather a stream, but it's a video of my thoughts on the dawning event and the microtransactions in Destiny 2 currently. So while I talk about it, I'm gonna play some mayhem and get right into the nitty-gritty of this video. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for my mayhem class match to start. While I do that, I'm gonna explain my thoughts rather, on the dawning and the microtransactions in Destiny 2. So while this loads, I'm gonna explain the dawning event. So basically, the dawning event is a Christmas event in Destiny 2 where it's a time for celebration that, oh, we won the battle, and the mini battles that we fought basically are the purpose of our celebration, basically. So I mean, like, personally, I love the dawning event. It's like introduces the spirit and the Christmas spirit in Destiny 2, so it's a good way for Bungie to do that. But the core part of this video is basically to explain why microtransactions in Destiny 2 is not necessary. So basically, microtransactions in Destiny 2 is in the dawning event. That's the core part of the dawning, basically. Like, oh, if you want this emote, you have to buy it through a dawning engram or something. Buy it with silver dress or something. That's not the way to go, because if you want the content, then just give it to them. You don't have to pay for any of that. But yeah, microtransactions are like not the way to go in this one. And the dawning has all microtransaction based engrams, so basically you can't buy anything unless you have silver dust.
Mayhem clash.
So I mean, like, personally for me, I really don't like microtransactions because it ruins the fun and the grind for the game. So that's why I hate microtransactions, because it's a form, as the people said, it's a form of gambling. So that's why it's not the best way to go in microtransactions. Like, if you want the content in the game, why can't you just give it to us? That way we don't have to pay for any of that.
You've lost the lead.
Well, what I'm basically trying to say here is that microtransactions are bad, and it's really not the way to go in Destiny 2. I mean, like, Destiny 2 is a great game. I'm not gonna lie about that, but while I do love the game, it has some sort of flaws. Like, basically, for example, the loot system. They've fixed some of that problem, but not a whole lot of that problem. Still, like, basically still getting reskins and all that stuff. And yeah, personally, I really don't like reskins. I mean, like, unless it's a really good weapon that represents a reskin, I won't have any problem with that. But other than that, reskins are basically just not the way to go. So the dawning overall, it's a really good event in Destiny 2. I mean, like, it's a really big improvement in Destiny 2, to be honest. But what was I gonna say? The dawning event is full of microtransactions, like I said earlier. Microtransactions are not the way to go in Destiny. Like, Destiny 1, we had no microtransactions in Destiny 1. All of it was cosmetic gear, and which I like to grind for. Cosmetic gear is basically items you don't pay for, and items you get right away. So my cosmetic gear are better than microtransaction gear. So basically what I'm saying there is, microtransaction gear is not good because you're basically paying for the things you want, and then you're gonna get a duplicate. Duplicates are bad also because not unless it's okay with you. It depends on your personal preference. But other than that, duplicates are not. For me, it's not really my thing because if I get the same thing every time, and it's the same one I got from a microtransaction engram, there's no point in getting a duplicate because duplicates are not. It's basically worthless. And yeah. The other part of the problem with the dawning is again the dawning engrams. You don't really get much that often, which kind of sucks because if you want the exotic ship, or if you want an exotic ghost within the dawning, you're gonna have to pay for it, and that caused an uproar in the community, like in the forums. If you read the forums, which I haven't read yet, but I'll look into it, is that a lot of people are saying that the microtransaction engrams are not good because it's not literally not the best way to go in Destiny if you want to grind for gear, because it ruins the grind, and most of all, it ruins the fun. And for me personally, Destiny 2 is a very fun game. I really love it. It's really the best game ever made, to be honest, better than Destiny 1. Overall, Bungie made a really good game. I will always admire Bungie for making great games like Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, you name it. I love them for that. Then they made Destiny, which I love. But the thing is, Destiny 1 had no story, so they made Destiny 2, which was a redeemer, and I love it. But again, they kind of removed the grind, which was basically, which was good because grinding for hours, getting the gear you want, which was not really my thing because it takes too much of my time, basically time consuming. But they brought back the grind, which is a purpose for you to play, but for me personally, yeah, the grinding takes too much of my time. But it's my personal preference, it's what I do. I do whatever feels most comfortable. But anyways, onto the microtransactions and the dawning, continuing with that. Overall, the dawning is really good. But all the gear looks pretty good. The armor is eh. I was with the LFG team once, and they said the dawning gear looks crappy. To be honest, it is. I mean, like, if you want a gear that's worth it, get it through dawning events, but not the microtransaction versions, because like it will again it will have security. Like, for example, if you want an emote, like an emote from a dawning engram, you have to pay for that through Silver Dust and not Bright Dust, because Bright Dust is different. Silver Dust, you have to pay for it because, like, you buy it from the Xbox store or wherever. And to be honest, that kind of sucks because you have to spend real money to get that, and it's really not the way to go. But overall, Destiny 2 was a really good game, but Bungie really needs to listen more with the community's feedback, because all they say is we're listening, and blah 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 blah. But to be honest, and I hate to say this, but they actually aren't, because they solve most of the problems that the community is giving them as feedback, and then they try to implement another problem, and it caused worse because the feedback that they're getting, basically, to be honest, is not reading the whole feedback that they are getting, and it kind of sucks because you're basically fixing a problem, then and entering another one, basically. So basically what I'm saying is it's really not good in terms of microtransactions, because microtransactions in Destiny 2 it ruins the fun. It's like Star Wars Battlefront 2, where they added microtransactions into the game, and along with the release of the game, and a lot of people hated that, and it caused a lot of controversy. And
Fight on.
yeah, I read a lot of videos on the controversy. Now the government got involved, and now it's basically on to the EA's hands if they want to remove them completely or not. And they decided to remove it on the later updates, which we don't know when that's going to be. So just have to wait and see in Star Wars. But on to Destiny 2.
I could not ask.
Destiny 2's microtransactions needs to go away because it ruins the fun and it ruins the grind. So basically what I'm trying to say is microtransactions are like a form of gambling, and it should not be in video games because video games are made to play, not, well, pay to win is, in my perspective, it's, you pay the game because it's worth it, and based on the gameplay you saw, you really want to get it. But if you want the gear, like, we paid, for example, we paid how much for Destiny 2? We paid, me personally, I paid $90 for this game, along with the season pass, so that's like $95, almost $100. And then the base game was $60, plus you got microtransactions, which is an additional $20 each silver dust you buy. Like, for example, if you buy 2300 silver dust, it's $20, and you're basically wasting $20 because you gain the gear you don't want, the drops you don't want. So basically, yeah, microtransactions are basically worthless. And to be honest, it kind of sucks because Bungie kind of put that on themselves. Bungie basically shot themselves in the foot and not really lived up to their expectations about the microtransaction deal of games. But Destiny 2, they really put a lot of work into this, but implementing microtransactions was not a good way to start in terms of progressing through the years of making improving Destiny 2's endgame content, which is the core part of Destiny 2, and the endgame is what really makes the PvE and PvP worth it. But we paid, like I said, a lot of people pay the deluxe edition, the digital deluxe edition, which was $100, where they drop almost $100 in the game. And my message to Bungie is remove microtransactions because it's ruining the core gameplay, and it's also it's also making us lose money, and all you worry about is money and not the concern of your fans. Like, you establish a community, and you basically just like ignore the whole problem that they have with the game itself. Like, I know you fix some of the problems, but fix all the problems. Like, if you want the expansions worth it, like the expansions you're making, if you want it to be worth it, like if you want the player population to increase again, remove microtransactions and make the endgame content worth it, because endgame content is what's really going to make players decide if they want to make the game like easy to play or a pay-to-win game. Like, pay-to-win game is pretty much worth it because you pay for the game, you enjoy your time on it, and you have a fun time. Like, Destiny 2 has that momentum and capability and potential of being a fun game, and it really has that. But implementing microtransactions makes the game look bad because, one, microtransactions are like it's not being implemented well, so it has to be removed. And the other part of microtransaction is it is spending in real life and real money of the other person's money. You're spending the other people's real-life money to buy a donning engram. Basically, that's not worth it because they have to pay for other stuff too.
Lost the lead.
Like their needs and stuff. But like I said earlier, donning has full microtransaction bait, basically. It has full of microtransaction bait. And don't be surprised if you pay for silver dust, a $20 bundle of silver dust, you buy a donning engram and you don't get the ones you want. Then you spend all the silver dust for nothing. And you get all the things you want for nothing. And yeah, but anyways, Destiny 2 overall, really fun game. I give it a 10 out of 10. And the only thing Bungie needs to fix is the endgame content, the loot drops, to increase the chance of like an exotic drop or like I love the grind, but at the same time, waste my time, so not really in the mood for grinding and such. But anyways, yeah, the overall the grinding in Destiny 2 is worth it, but at the same time it depends on the person if they really want to grind for the stuff they want, and if they want to stay on for like hours on end grinding for the stuff they want, like for engrams or what have you. So my advice to Bungie is remove microtransactions. You have the option to do that. If you don't remove it, you're going to get a lot of community uproar like you're having now, and it's not looking pretty for the gamers in the gaming industry to, or in the gaming world, to pay for something they don't want. And it's kind of looks bad for the game, because we're playing your game because you made it, like, we're playing your game because it's worthwhile and basically fun. But implementing microtransactions into the game is not the way to go, because you're basically wasting our money, and all you care about is money, and it's not helping the community out. And like, if you're gonna listen to the community and forget about the money you earn. Well, not literally forget it forever, just forget it for a moment and listen to your fans, because like the fans are the most important part of how you make your game. But microtransactions are really bad, and it could ruin the core gameplay of Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is above all the best game, and I love it. Yeah, I mean, like, Destiny 2 is like, it's made to be fun, and it's made to people to be, you know, engaging. And basically what I mean is that, well, to say it's worth it. And the Curse of Osiris expansion, I'm 50-50 on that, because Mercury's a really small destination and really not engaging or whatever. I mean, I like all the other destinations except for Mercury, because it has only one public event and we only have a small space to go to. I like to explore the Infinite Forest, because the Infinite Forest has, like, you can have multiple public events, like 10, maybe 15 public events happening in the Infinite Forest because of how long it goes. So basically what I'm trying to say here is, remove microtransactions to make the game more fun and more engaging. Because if you remove microtransactions, the players will be surprised, and you get a more increased player population. Like, if you have an increased player population, you'll eventually have more players to play your game. Like, if all you care about is money, then what's the point of impressing your fans? If, you know, if you have a system that is not worthwhile of your time, like paying for stuff, that to me that sounds a bit stupid, because it's not really not how you put it. Yeah.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Okay. So, okay. I pretty much have more to say here, so, what else do I have more to say? I'm gonna do one last Mayhem class match and explain the last few stuff that I need to explain. So, overall, microtransactions in Destiny 2 are pretty much a form of gambling, like I said earlier. And a form of gambling is just not, it's illegal and it's numb. That's no bueno on my end. So, another message to Bungie: if you want to make your game worthwhile, you're gonna have to remove microtransactions and make the game more fun and more reliable as possible, because you're gonna get a decreased player population, and it's it's not gonna look good for the community, and it's not gonna look well for yourselves, basically, because you're a big multi-million-dollar industry, and you're basically implementing microtransactions to make Destiny 2 not pay-to-win game, is what I'm saying. So basically, what I mean by pay-to-win is paying for the game because it's worth it. Like, pay-to-win is a simple term of pay for the game because you really want it and you really enjoy it. Play the game to enjoy it, not to pay money and then ruin the fun for yourself, because a lot of people don't want to pay for in-game stuff. Like, that's not the way video games work. So basically what I'm trying to say is don't implement microtransactions in video games, because, like I said, EA had a lot of controversy with Star Wars Battlefront 2 because of microtransactions. And most of all, the microtransactions were like a big deal when the game released, because and by a big deal, I mean a lot of controversial stuff about EA they lost $3.1 billion because of microtransactions, and that was a really big downhill side of the game. That's what made the game rated bad. And to me, when I heard that, I'm like, that really kind of sucks, because you have to go through so many how do you say it? So many steps up to cover your butt and like do damage control. EA had to do a lot of damage control to make their fans stay in the Star Wars franchise. I'm talking in terms of game related stuff here. So basically, you can implement microtransactions, but not in a way that's not gonna impress and not gonna make players not want to play your game anymore. But now that I've seen it, implementing microtransactions is bad. So, yeah, the Dawning is a very perfect example of what I mentioned earlier about microtransactions. And to be honest, microtransactions in Destiny 2 are just a no bueno for the community. because like the community uproar is, to be honest, it's good that the community is like having their voices heard, but it's time for Bungie to listen to their voices and like make the game more fun and more worthwhile with people's time. It's like them paying for stuff, people gotta pay for other stuff, not just for not just for their personal needs, but for the needs of other people too. Like, if you implement microtransactions, it's just not, how do you say it? It's not worth people's time. So, if you're gonna make a game worthwhile, just don't put in microtransactions, and then this uproar and this whole game anymore thing happen. So, Bungie, please take my advice. Please remove these microtransactions because it's ruining the game and it's decreasing the community population. I love your game. I really do. Destiny 2, you made big improvements to the story and everything else. Balanced PvP, all that stuff. But the only So Bungie, please remove microtransactions because it doesn't make the game fun and it doesn't make people's time worthwhile. So yeah, if you're gonna implement a game that's gonna be worthwhile people's time, try to, yeah. Yeah, sorry if someone bugs me after, I don't know how to cut that out, but I'll just post it anyway. Just post this video anyway. But anyways, like, this whole microtransaction deal needs to stop completely, and it's really ruining the community's fun of playing Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is, rate this 10 out of 10 on this. And after this final Mayhem match, I'm gonna give my final thoughts on the Dawning, and yeah, that's basically it. After this Mayhem match. Where is... Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this Mayhem match. I'm not gonna talk while I'm doing this, so... Yeah.
Left. Your enemy is pushing for victory. Punish them for it. Yes. Now show them the true meaning of war.
To be honest, the Dawning was the same as Destiny 1's Dawning, but it had some few changes, but it still looks the same though. To be honest, but anyways, it's a really good event to make Destiny 2 more worth living, more worthwhile of people's time. I'm getting better in PvP as I play, so. But I don't know about Trials, because Trials for me is just too painful, because I played Trials once, didn't really sink into my brain. Trials of the 9 is just broken. They really need
has
make it more
diminished.
balanced like
Keep
this.
it up. You're beaten. This time.
Yeah, so my final thoughts. Dawning, I pretty much give it a 7 out of 10 because it's an average event. I took it down 3 points because microtransactions are just not the way to go in Destiny 2. So, yeah. But anyways, thanks so much for watching the stream/video. And I hope I'll see you all next time on my next stream. And I am going to be streaming the second expansion once it comes out. I forgot to stream Curse of Osiris, so forgive me of that. But anyways, this is Reddit signing off, and I hope you guys have a good, happy holidays. Bye.